Welcome to Seattle, this Pacific Coast economic hub of 4 million people, home to Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon.com, and Starbucks, is now America's green capital.
How are you? Nice to see you. Absolutely.
This is Greg Nichols, the city's Democrat mayor, who is bringing the green revolution to America.
Do you remember that? Maybe not. You have to know how to use the tool. It is, and there's a litter can right up there. In fact, there's a bag right here.
No chains, no big business.
Yeah.
Come on, I got my dad's hair and his love handles.
This beautiful fish. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too, yeah.
My first time to the city.
Oh, all right. Welcome.
Greg Nichols' green campaign has won him the blessings of America's new green pope, the former Vice President Al Gore.
Thank you very much. I'm here to applaud and publicly recognize an act of extraordinary leadership by this city, by the people of this city, who have lifted up a leader as your mayor, who in turn mobilized and lifted up the leadership from mayors all across the United States. Thank you.
Seattle's mayor has begun a revolution in his city that could influence the entire country.
I called on the citizens of Seattle to begin to reduce our use of fossil fuels, to reduce our impact on the climate. And I challenged mayors across the country to join with me. It was when Kyoto was becoming the law in 141 countries, but not the United States. And I felt in the absence of our federal government showing leadership, we needed to do it city by city. I hoped we would get 141 cities, one for every country that initially signed the Kyoto Protocol. As of today, we have 326 mayors who have joined with me. They represent 53 million Americans.
One time. We do a thing all over town called Clean Seattle. We pick up litter, get rid of the graffiti.
Get it straight.
Well, what do you think?
The utility that serves Seattle is owned by the people of Seattle. It's called Seattle City Light. And it is the first major electric utility in America that produces zero net greenhouse gas emissions. We're very proud of that. We found a way to power our city without toasting the planet.
The city encourages employees not to drive at all. And when they must drive on city business, we generally use the most efficient vehicle we can for the job. Most of the passenger cars in the city's fleet are now hybrids, like this Toyota Prius. We have a number of bus systems that serve the city of Seattle. And all of the in-city buses run on electric wires. So they use no fossil fuel at all, in part because our city-owned electric utility generates its electricity with hydroelectric dams.
Unlike the rest of the world, most of our greenhouse gas emissions come from transportation. And the city decided to be a leader in this. We have a large fleet of hybrid vehicles. We've converted our larger trucks to biodiesel or ultra-low sulfur diesel. And we are amongst the cities in America that are pushing to create a market for plug-in hybrid vehicles.
I've been a resident of Seattle for about 10 years. My wife and I, though, and our 6-month-old daughter, we recently moved to a small island off of Seattle called Vashon Island. And we take a small ferry boat that often runs on biodiesel to get to the island. I get on a metro bus And I can shop at local farm stands on the island. I can shop using the bus, I can get to the grocery store where there's a big organic display. If I do want to use my car, I can run it on biodiesel that I purchase on the island. The same thing in Seattle here.
Until recently, a 100% eco-friendly city, clean free buses and fewer cars were unthinkable in the USA. But a new green and virtuous America is being born in Seattle.
You know, the American lifestyle is heavily reliant on energy. But I think something that can turn this around is that Americans really pride themselves on their ingenuity and their competitiveness. And as they see the rest of the world begin to tackle this problem, I think Americans are going to want to be best at it. They're going to want to be first. And that's just the way the American psyche works.
Chip Griller's online environmental magazine, grist.org, read by 700,000 people every day, is a sure sign of change. American media is overwhelmed by this new green wave.
There was this whole dot-com rise around the year 2000, then a dot-com bust, and money went into real estate. Now I think money's leaving real estate, and a lot of it's going toward renewable energies.
I think once the national government begins to acknowledge that and then reflect that commitment back, I think you'll see some amazing things happen in this country. And I think at least part of it will be driven by the idea that by leading the way, we can be more successful in solving the problem, but maybe we can also be more successful in creating a green economy.
Let's leave the city and visit the countryside. The Green Revolution has reached Iowa, one of the main agricultural Midwestern states. It is transforming the lives of local farmers.
My name is Bill Kauser. I'm from Nevada, Iowa, right in the middle of the heartland where all the crops are grown. I have a wife of 25 years, Nancy, and 2 sons, Casey and Tim is going to go into agriculture. And right now at this point, we are farming about 10,000 acres. We feed about 5,000 head of cattle a year. And our farming operation consists of seed corn, commercial corn, seed soybeans, alfalfa, and sorghum. Here we have the opportunity now in the Midwest to be able to take this corn and either feed it to livestock or turn it into a renewable fuel. 3 years ago, I was on a board of directors of a Heart of Iowa co-op. And so the general manager asked us if we would like to hear the ethanol story. And at that time in the United States, there were probably 6 or 7 ethanol plants going at that time. And at that point in my life, I thought alcohol was basically in a can or a bottle. And so when they came in and started telling us the story, it was very exciting because we know as agriculture people that in production agriculture, we're at the peak. We know that yields are going to go up and we're all going to get better at what we do. But the next step that we as producers need to be in processing. We need to take that commodity of corn and how do we process it here locally to keep the money within our own economy and within our community. Come on in, guys.
Bill Kauser is the Administrative Council President of a local ethanol distillery. He welcomes a federal delegation from Washington, which has come to study the incredible ethanol boom.
Really what these are, it's like a homemade ice cream maker. Now, everything goes out with a price tag on it. There's no giveaway programs. So we feel we've got the Cadillac.
Like Bill Kauser, more and more American farmers use ethanol. It's a win-win situation. Corn is transformed into fuel, and the leftovers are fed to cattle. Let's find an ethanol pump. Their numbers are growing in the Midwest. What a change in mentality. America's legendary gas stations now distribute corn juice, known as E85. 85% ethanol mixed with 15% lead-free gas.
Hello, Randy. Could you please tell us what's the stuff you put in your tank?
I'm filling up with the E85. Ever since the E85 been available, we've been filling up with the E85.
So you had to buy a new car for that?
This car was available with the E85, so once the E85 became popular, then we went ahead and we use it all the time now.
So now you don't put any gasoline anymore in this car?
No, not unless we're someplace where we can't find the E85.
So why did you switch?
It's a renewable energy. It's grown right here in Iowa, you know. It's cheaper than fuel. It reduces our dependency on different foreign oils. It's just a lot of positive things for it.
Bill Kauser and the Iowa farmers are obsessed with alternative energy, not because they are particularly eco-friendly, but for monetary reasons. With ethanol growing in popularity, the price of corn has risen as never before.
This is renewable energy. This comes every year. And whether you're in Iowa or Nebraska or Switzerland or France or Russia, you know, we need to protect our earth. And when those fossil fuels are gone, whenever that is, what are we going to do? This is the time that anybody can do this. I mean, this is a pretty simple idea. This is not rocket science. You know, it's a small community that had a dream, and we hope that this dream will go on to the rest of the world. We can all do this.
But do you think these agriculture crops could replace all the fuel we use one day, or is it not simply too much in terms of...
It's not if, it's when. Because we'll continue to experiment and get the technology. It's corn today. Will it be the stock tomorrow? Will it be trees? Will it be alfalfa? Will it be switchgrass? I don't know. But today, we're working with corn because that's the cheapest feedstocks. Economics will drive whatever fuel we have to use.
The ethanol boom is revivifying the heart of American agriculture. 3 years ago, there were 6 distilleries in the country. Today, there are 200, and by the end of 2008, possibly 400. Farmers are producing energy. This is Ames, a small Iowa town on the Pacific Union Line, home to Iowa State University, which specializes in agricultural science. A part of America's green revolution is being developed here. Professor Robert Brown is one of the gurus of this technological revolution.
Interest in the area was relatively low until just the last year, in fact. The growth of the corn ethanol industry has really increased the interest in this area. We have visitors every week talking about what we can do to advance the technology for this field. We have petroleum companies, ethanol producers, and venture capitalists exploring with us what we might be able to do in this area. It's shown that we can, in fact, produce renewable fuels from biomass. But ultimately, we're going to max out on the supply of corn. We might be able to produce 12 or 14% of our total gasoline demands with corn. Beyond that, we're going to have to look at other sources of biomass, cellulosic materials, things like switchgrass and wood chips. And those have a much greater potential to supply our energy needs in a more sustainable manner.
Well, what is switchgrass exactly?
Well, let's see. Switchgrass, when it's all chopped up, it looks like this. When it's in the field, it's about 2 meters in height. It's a native prairie grass. In fact, Iowa was covered with this grass and some other prairie grasses at the time of the bringing of agriculture to the state. Most of that was, virtually all of it, was plowed under to produce conventional crops like corn. Principle, we could actually produce all of our transportation fuels. But again, this is going to take a combination of efforts both in fuel economy and advanced technologies for converting this biomass to fuels.
Keeping America competitive requires affordable energy. And here we have a serious problem. America is addicted to oil, which is often imported from unstable parts of the world.
Addicted to oil. In spite of its green revolution, America remains highly dependent on oil. It consumes a quarter of the world's supply, yet produces only 3%. Why? The sacrosanct automobile.
The characteristic of our country is very interesting, particularly, say, in contrast to Europe, where the distances are far shorter. The size of the U.S. is such that we become used to traveling long distances. But what we had with this combination of very inexpensive oil that was very plentiful for many, many years, this distributed population, the growth of suburbia in the U.S., where we in many ways left the highly dense city and moved into the suburban areas, the kind of lifestyle opportunities that people began to enjoy.
Come on, kids, let's load up.
Hey, Mom, Butch doesn't think we can get this bike in this car.
Why, sure we can. See? Just fold down the seat and presto, plenty of room for everything and everybody.
Rapid growth in population, tremendous growth in the affluence of this economy, and the average wage is still very high, coupled with inexpensive fuel and an industry that was very happy to build whatever people wanted to live the lifestyle they were planning to enjoy.
What a wonderful thrill Oldsmobile can be. Riding low, riding wide, riding handsomely. Step inside, take a ride, come along, join the fun. There's a happy, happy holiday for everyone.
As a vital component of the American dream, the automobile industry has made incredible profits building bigger and bigger cars, consuming more and more gas. But it has failed to foresee the rise in the cost of oil and its impact on consumers. General Motors is a perfect example. We visit their Detroit Research Center.
We're at the Warren Tech Center. This is where all of our design work, engineering work, all the laboratories are here for General Motors.
So what kind of car are you driving now? It's a special car. Why?
Yes, it's an E85 flex fuel Chevrolet Avalanche, and it means it runs on E85 ethanol. It's 85% ethanol, 15% gasoline.
You have this campaign, it's called Live Green, Go Yellow. Can you tell us a bit more?
Yes, Live Green, Go Yellow is a marketing campaign to build consumer awareness of E85 ethanol. It was launched in January, and it's a very exciting campaign because it really built the awareness of the American public on ethanol as a real choice that was in the marketplace today. Before that campaign, I don't think people realized that GM had flex fuel vehicles on the road.
It's a new behavior, even for GM. I mean, for a long time, you didn't believe these changes were needed, didn't you?
Actually, GM has been a leader in technology for decades. What's important is we have to bring out products that are affordable products that consumers really want to buy. We have to make sure the consumer is willing to buy those products.
Consumers are less inclined to buy them today. GM suffers from poor financial health. Toyota will soon replace GM as the world's leading car manufacturer. Japanese car makers understood early on that ecology was a strong selling point.
Vice President and members of my cabinet, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Transportation, members of my staff, and I have just had a constructive and meaningful dialogue with CEOs of the U.S. automobile manufacturers. We talked about our mutual desire to reduce our dependence on foreign oil. Obviously, as these automobile manufacturers begin to incorporate new technologies that will enable us to power our cars in different ways, it'll make it easier for me to be able to tell the American people we're using less foreign oil, and that's in our economic interests as well as in our national security interests.
Awaiting its hypothetical weaning, the U.S. scours the earth in search of oil. The survival of the American empire depends on it. Let's now travel to Alberta, Canada, where they are moving heaven and earth to find the few last drops. Welcome to Fort McMurray, the home of the last oil rush. Both American and foreign companies have come to this new El Dorado, where salaries fly high. A skilled worker can earn up to $8,000 a month.
Can we take some of the stuff somewhere? Yeah, you can take this as much as you'd like, anywhere you'd like. So then basically, what is it? So what's in it? So what you're looking at right here is an old shoreline of the Albion Sea. So this is all oil-saturated sand. And each little sand grain has a little bit of water surrounding it, and then a little bit of bitumen around that. And that's the secret of the oil sands. What we can do with this stuff is we just heat a little water. We add in a little air to it, and the oil floats off the sand.
So how deep is it?
Well, we're about 30 meters or so below the surface, and then we've got about another 30 or 40 meters yet to go before we run out of oil sand.
All this area, so there is no place where you can find it here?
There's just oil sand. This represents the second largest oil reserve on Earth, right behind Saudi Arabia.
Yes, oil reserves almost as vast as Saudi Arabia's, but more difficult to work. A barrel of oil drawn from under Saudi sands goes for $4. A barrel from Canadian bituminous sands costs $20. But at $90 a barrel on the international market, it's still good business.
The truck is nearly 400 tons, and it has two Caterpillar engines. It carries a capacity of, it can carry over 400 tons, but we like to keep it around 360, 375, 375 tons.
So how many barrels of oil do you take each time you go to the pit?
2 tons of ore, on average, is 1 barrel of oil. So close to 200 barrels per load.
There are hundreds of these giant trucks guzzling 4,000 liters of diesel per day. The whole operation uses 1 barrel for every 2 produced. The area covered by the mines is as vast as Switzerland and growing every day. Flying over the region, we see how badly the land is scarred. Cree Indians live in Fort McKay. They are surrounded by bituminous sand mines and torn between the desire to make money and the dire environmental consequences of oil fever.
A majority of people are employed at the oil sands. Here in the community, there's a lot of the individuals work directly for the oil sand plants as an employee. Like myself, I'm a contractor, entrepreneur, where I have a business at industry, and also the balance, the rest of the members work for companies, support service contractors who support the oil sands. So yeah, everybody's more or less directly tied to the oil sands. One of the positives from industry is having the opportunity of creating a business because of the close relationships between industry and Fort McKay. They're able to structure a good working relationship where they're providing economic opportunities for the locals, the Aboriginals, and the people in the area. Years ago, people used to get water from here to drink. And from about the 60s until now, we don't take water from the river. Upstream, we have Suncor, which is situated right on the Athabasca River. Whether industrial development and whether some of the environmental groups will say it's safe, I'm not the scientist to figure that one out. There has to be some damage to the river system.
And there is no fishing in the river here?
Oh, there's lots of fish.
Okay, so you could take the fish here and eat it?
Yeah, but we don't.
Ah.
We don't. Just for the point of knowing what's upstream.
Waiting for its green revolution, the United States covets Canada's bituminous sands. New oil at Washington's doorstep, far from the Persian Gulf. Yet extracting it is highly polluting and contrary to the new American motto, "No more oil." Another contradiction in a nation which knows nothing but.